Cardinals are coming off a 27-13 loss to the Patriots. However, the bigger blow comes from quarterback Kyler Murray's season-ending knee injury. He tore his right ACL on the third play of the game. What's that mean for the Cardinals offense moving forward? Alongside former Cardinals quarterback Drew Stanton, I'm Dani Sureck. We're going to answer that on this episode of Card Stock presented by Geek. Drew, third play of the game. Kyler Murray runs with the ball. He slides. It's a non-contact injury. Backup quarterback Colt McCoy goes in. It's a little bit of a different game plan when you have those two quarterbacks. What did McCoy do well in Monday night's game?
Well, I think he stayed within the framework of what he knows, right? He was not far removed from starting 2 games. He knows what he wants to do. You saw an offense that stayed on schedule. Unfortunately, the turnovers crept in, not being able to convert on 4th down. All of those things played into it. When you step in and it's that early in the game, you're taking over Kyler Murray's game plan, right? You try to adapt it, you get it in the ear of your offensive coordinator, of your quarterback coach, of the entire offense and say, this is the direction we're gonna go. And they stayed the course. They did some really good things. They need to clean things up, but that's going to be every week.
As a former quarterback in the NFL, emotionally, how difficult is it not just for the quarterback stepping in, but the rest of the team to emotionally regroup so quickly?
Yeah, you know what? I was curious to see how that was going to play itself out. I thought they just did a tremendous job of adapting to that, right? You look there and you know it's hard when you're on the field level and you see one of your brothers in pain like that. It's really hard. I personally lived through that with Carson in London. The only difference was I knew his career was over, right? Kyler's going to go on to play great football. He's going to go on to do everything he'll ever set out to do in this league because the ACL will set him back or whatever the injury is, that they'll be able to move on from this. Colt had to go out there and do a job. He did a tremendous job of doing that. You have to be able to compartmentalize and then not only yourself of calming yourself down, you go rally the troops and you could see him do that. He pulled everybody together and now they've got 4 more weeks left to try and put a stamp on the rest of the season.
With Colt McCoy leading the way, what's this offense going to look like the final 4 games?
I think you'll see very similar to what we saw when his previous starts, right? A ball control offense. He's going to have a run game at his disposal. You see James Conner running with a different mentality. You see a guy that's coming downhill. The last 2 weeks, he's put together 2 very nice performances. That opens everything up in the pass game. You also see for the first time of getting DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood Brown out there together. You get Greg Dortch, hopefully Rondell Moore gets added to the picture. Trey McBride's getting more involved. You want to see young guys because you have to evaluate the entire roster of what's going on. But one piece of advice that I would give Colt, I don't need to give it to him because he already knows that he's as old as I am. You have to go in and you have to lead authentically, and you can't be Kyler Murray. You can't run the same plays Kyler can run, but you can still go in there and win football games. This is a very winnable game this weekend when they're going to go out and play the Denver Broncos. They need to find a way to win one football game because the rest of the week will just help build to the closure of this season.
Colt might not be able to run like Kyler Murray, however, we did see him truck defender and break a tackle on that run.
Yeah, no doubt. But also, the other piece of advice to Colt would be, hey, there's nobody left after you. So you got to be smart that way too for that game. Now they'll have Trace McSorley, but let's not try and take on any more safeties or linebackers.
Let's be careful. 4 games left for the Cardinals, the next against the Broncos in Denver. For Drew Stanton, I'm Dani Sureck. Thanks so much for tuning in to Card Stock.